doesn't matter what you do, it matters what you repeatedly do. Vince Lombardi said it best, and he said that winning is a habit. Winning is not a sometime thing. Winning is an all the time thing. Winning is a habit. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. And unfortunately, so is losing. I just got off the phone with a friend a little bit earlier today, and this guy is a locomotive of just uncontainable energy and winning the day. He literally is winning the day, and he's doing it by habits. This man has built morning habits that propel him throughout the rest of his day. His productivity is insane. What's happening in his family is amazing. And you can have it too. It is found in the power of developing habits. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background of where this starts, and then we'll talk about some places to put that. In the beginning of everything that we're doing, all of our activity, if it's a new activity, it starts in right here, the frontal cortex, the cerebral cortex of your brain. If you do things over and over and over again, it's always trying to figure it out, and it's very tiring for your brain to always be thinking about things. After your brain realizes, I've seen this a lot of times, I'm going to commit it to memory, and we're just going to do it. It throws it back into another part of the brain that is a little bit less sophisticated, but really one that's in charge of emotions and habits. And the cool thing about that is that once your activators happen, the habit just clicks right in. This happens for good habits and for bad habits. So, what can we do to really create momentum and jump into and have those habits that are going to push us and propel us in our management of our time and our management of ourself? Let's dig in. I'll give you a few principles of that to get you rocking and rolling. Now, there are really three main habits areas where we are all, it's almost just innate. And I won't even call them habits. We're gonna call them routines. So in our life, there are routines. We have a waking routine. We have a meal routine, and we have an evening routine. And so usually, most of us we're going to be doing the same things daily. If you don't believe me, what did you have for lunch today? Was it something similar to what you had for lunch last week? What time do you go to bed? How do you go to bed? All of these things matter. Now, if you're someone who is in shambles in this area, I want you to take just take the mentality of every toddler I've ever had and begin to create something that tells your brain, I'm going to sleep now, right? At nighttime. Or in the morning when you wake up, I'm awake now, right? And what happens as you're processing through these parts of your day? Now, if you have a good set of routines, whether it's these, the morning or meal or evening, if you already have that, the best way to develop a new habit is to tack it onto an existing habit, an existing routine. So if you wanted to go to the gym, for example, you can say, well, every morning I eat breakfast. So every morning just before breakfast, I go to the gym. Or every evening, every day I get off of work, I drive home. And so before I go home, I'm going to drive to the gym. So it's like you attached your new habit to something that was already happening. Now, we don't just have life habits. We have these things that are, just productivity habits, right? And that's, what are you doing to be productive? That go time, your admin time, your creative time. Where can I find those routines and put them into my day? And so there are some things that really you could do. And so your starting and ending points are the best places to actually put those power routines. And those power routines, remember, it has a feeling, it has a thought, and it has an action. And so what are the things you're going to think, feel, and do as soon as you walk in? one of the top producers I've ever worked with, Eric Henson, every day when he showed up at work, before he did anything, he'd flip on his computer, he'd pick up the phone, and he'd make a call. And then he'd do the rest of everything else. But that was always his routine. It told him what was important, just like your routines tell you what's important and what you're going to do. So if you want to put in a new habit, attach it to an existing habit. All right, so I'm going to give you some numbers here, and we're going to look at what these mean. So 66, 2, before, after, and 1. So here we go. 66, that's the amount of days that experts say it takes to form a habit. Now, this is a newer number, and I believe that it comes from the 5-day work week. And it actually has a lot to do with the next one, which is the number 2. And 2 is the maximum number of days that you can take off if you're expecting to establish a new routine or habit. So a 5-day work week, most people are typically taking off a Saturday and a Sunday from their new habit. So that means if you miss it Monday, it's almost like you're building a brand new habit. You have to go through all of the sucky work to get that established. And so 2 days, that's a maximum amount of days in a row you can take off. Just before and just after. Just before a current habit or routine, or just after. Those are the times and places that we actually want to put our new habits. And the number 1 is the number of habits we want to try to form at a time. You're just going to lose if you try to do too much all at once. This is an entire life makeover, right? Let's get one thing right, get some momentum, and then we can get some more things right. Now, one of the principles that is my favorite on a few really, really key habits, these are what I call the domino habits. And I'll let you know what those are in a moment. But the key thing is to start on time or to finish on time. So some start on time habits would be waking up. I have someone that I know closely that he wakes up at 5:22 exactly every day. No snooze, 5:22 on time. For me, if it's a time of prospecting or outreach, on time exactly, no delay, because the longer you delay, it's kind of like climbing up on the high dive. Like, oh, I'm kind of comfortable where I'm at. I don't really want to jump into that water, 30 feet down or however far up that it is. So starting on time is important. I would say waking is important. Start on time, have that waking time. Having that, for me, that one power moment at work. So for me, it's prospecting. For others, it's having certain meetings or it's dealing with certain clients. But start on time. You're going to find that it empowers you a lot better. And then stop on time. So if you're working, don't just work until you drop like they do in Japan, right? They have that condition that literally like people work until they die. No, have that finish line so that your brain knows that it's, it can party and let loose after a little bit. It doesn't have to stay totally engaged with everything. So start on time, finish on time. And then, a couple of keys that I find that are very helpful with habits and building them is your self-talk and your visualization. So if you were someone who says, oh, I'm bad at managing my time, or, oh, I hate, picking up the phone to call people. Change that, dude. Change that. Change it now. Start saying things like, I'm getting better with my time all the time. And, actually picking up the phone is it's becoming one of my best parts of my day. Change it. Change it. Have visualization. Visualization of you with a new habit. Visualization of what the payoff is for you to have that new habit, right? Because if it doesn't matter in the long run, you're going to find an easy way out. Accountability. Man, having some sort of someone to hold you accountable that when you say, hey, I am absolutely drop dead going to make sure that this happens, there's something inside of us that wants to make sure that we do what we say we're going to do. So accountability, oh my gosh, phenomenal for developing habit. So these are a few of the keys. What is it that we want you to do, and how are we going to attack this? Well, just reply to the email that's coming out your way with one routine habit that you're going to form. Write out how it's going to feel when you form this habit. Also, why is it important that you have this habit? What's the payoff? And so there you have it. That's how we're going to ingrain ourselves with new methods of time management, a new habit, a new you that goes after exactly what you want, how you want it. Listen, this is how we own our life. We own the moments, and we own all of this habits. Like we are who we repeat, what we repeatedly do, according to Aristotle. So let's do those things that matter to us. It's been fun, guys, and we'll catch you on the flip side.